Hi guys, I'm here with Amalie Howard, and she is a young adult fantasy novelist. So welcome, thanks for talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you've been to Comic-Con a lot, right?
Yes.
Which number is this?
So this is my fourth Denver Comic Con, but I've also been to New York Comic Con, which is also, that's very large, but this one's my favorite.
And why is this one your favorite?
Well, it's local, which is cool. And also I think the size is great. Like, it's not overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff to see. And, and the cosplay is always awesome. But, yeah.
Have you seen any cool cosplays this year?
I just got here, like, a couple hours ago. But, not as many Deadpools as last year. I think Deadpool was very common. I saw a lot of Wonder Women so far. And probably there's going to be more because, it's iconic and it just came out. And, yeah. So.
And I love your shirt, by the way. If you want to show them, that's so awesome. We got Princess Leia going on there. So what books do you have for us today?
The books that I brought are The Almost Girl, which is kind of like a girl Terminator, a girl from a parallel universe who comes to Earth to find a mysterious boy who may or may not be the key to saving both worlds. And it's super fierce. She's cyborg, so it's just really interesting to write. So sci-fi. And then I brought Alpha Goddess, which just came out in paperback last week. And this one's about a reincarnated Indian goddess who has to reconcile her past and present lives before chaos is unleashed on Earth. And it's sort of based loosely on the Ramayana, which is an Indian mythology.
I love the cover of that one. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, they really did a great job. And the sequel comes out next February, and it's about Kali, and the goddess on the front is also gorgeous. Yeah.
So I'm just curious of your thought process. Like, where do you come up with these ideas?
Good ideas always come from reading great ideas. Reading other authors. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie and something might click and say, oh, this might be really interesting to have this twist on this thing. Or, kind of what-if questions. I remember I wrote the Waterfell series, which is like underwater dragons, thinking to myself, I think it was James Cameron who took the submarine to the Mariana Trench, and I was like, we don't know what lives there. What if there's this, sea monster species that lives down there and we don't know anything about it, and they transform into human form and they're trying to live with us, and then what if we're poisoning our oceans, so they decide to take measures to knock us off so we don't poison the oceans anymore. So series of what if questions, and then I usually jot it down in a notebook and see if it has legs to be a story.
So you have a notebook out there with just great ideas.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're great ideas. Some of them are pretty crap, but I do write down everything because you never know, know.
So just make sure no one gets a hold of that notebook.
I always say, ideas, there's no art is original, right? You could have an idea and somebody across the world could have exactly the same idea. You just have to write your story, and the thing that's going to make it unique is your voice.
Yeah. So. Exactly. And so you said you have a daughter, right?
I do. I have two sons and a daughter. So.
Oh, wow. And they're all young, right?
Yeah. So my son is almost 13, and then I have another son who's 11, and then my daughter's 8.
So you tend to write more for young adults, maybe not for 8-year-olds. Have you ever thought about writing stuff for younger kids, since you do have kids?
I really do enjoy middle grade, and I have written a story that's currently on submission. So we'll see where that goes. But, I like writing young adult just because, there's a lot of firsts in there. It's first love, and I like the whole romance. I like the whole, discovering yourself and trying to figure out who you are within, the world, and kind of finding your place. And I like navigating those waters. Middle grade is fun, but I think it's more about, friendships, that you have as a kid. And adventure. That's what I read, Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us. And so when is your next book coming out? When can we expect that?
So the next book comes out, so the sequel to Alpha Goddess, Dark Goddess, comes out next February.
All right, well then you guys can look forward to that next February, and until then, read Alpha Goddess.
Yep, and I have, my first series was about witches and vampires, so if you're into that, check it out. And I also write for adults. I write historical romance. So if you like Diana Gabaldon and stuff historical romance, I have that too.
So she has a lot to choose from, so make sure that you guys check her out. Amalie Howard. And where can we find you on social media?
So I'm on pretty much all the platforms. It's just Amalie Howard, AMALIE HOWARD. So my website is just amaliehoward.com. At Amalie Howard on Twitter, Amalie Howard Author on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Yeah, you can just Google.
Well, thank you so much.